Hasta la vista. Hello, Tainá. Hello, Erika.
Hello,
Hello.
teacher.
How are you, my dear?
I'm okay, and you?
I wish you had said you were very well, but okay, it's all right.
No,
I'm
very
good.
tired
You're tired. Why?
because today I help my mother a cookie.
You helped your mother cooking.
Yes.
And just because of this, you're very tired.
Yes.
Cooking is a pleasure. It's not work, okay?
No, I like, but my mother. Tainá, blah, blah, Tainá, Tainá.
Okay. Dirce, I hope you are all right. Maria Eduardo, I hope you are also fine. Erika, how about you? Are you all right?
I'm fine,
Yes.
teacher. Thank you. And you?
I'm very well, thank you. Ghislaine, how about you, my dear? Are you all right?
Hi, teacher.
The children are fine as far as I could hear, but how about you?
Yes, he's making the lesson English.
The homework.
Yes, homework.
Very good, very good. Yes, so he can maybe watch the class and learn something because today's class is very nice.
Yes, very nice.
Well, what are we going to do today? If you pay attention, very good attention to today's class, I can tell you something. You will be able to multiply your vocabulary, your English vocabulary by 3 at least. And this can be done by the end of the class without any magic thing. It's only a very simple thing that we are going to study tonight, but it's an extremely important thing. Okay? So I want you to pay attention. I'm going to share my screen with you guys, and I want you to pay close attention to what we are going to talk about today. If you already know these, good for you. I'm just here, and I'm going to remind you of what we are going to talk about. All right? In English, we have an old paradigm, okay, or an old concept that we need to change. Because many people memorize that an adjective is used to modify a noun and an adverb is used to modify a verb, period. Stops there. Is that the concept that you have or no?
Yes, we learned this in Brazil.
Okay, good. Thank you for sharing your opinion. Tainá, is that what you understand by an adjective?
Yes.
Okay, Ghislaine, is it the same? Dirce, Mario?
So teacher.
So teacher.
Yeah.
In this case, it's kind of good.
I need some explanation.
Okay. So this is not good. Okay, but I thought that you had, let's say, a better concept. Understand? And that's exactly what we are going to talk about today. That this concept that an adjective is used to modify a noun and an adverb is used to modify a verb has to be changed in your minds. Because I can use adjectives to modify verbs and I can use adverbs to modify adjectives. How about that? Okay? So, Erika, can you read this second paragraph for me, please?
Yes.
Adjectives.
Adjectives are words that are used to describe or modify nouns or pronouns. For example, red, quick, happy, and obnoxious.
Obnoxious.
Obnoxious are
Yes.
adjectives because they can describe things. A red hat, the quick habit, a happy ducky, an obnoxious person.
Obnoxious person. Yes.
Obnoxious.
Yes. Any question about this part?
Yes, teacher. What is obnoxious?
My question is the same.
And that's very interesting because if you look up in a dictionary, you will find that the word in Portuguese is exactly the same. Can you believe that?
Really?
But is it a common word? Have you ever used it in Portuguese?
No.
Yes, exactly.
No.
Yes, in Portuguese, I would say it's not part of my vocabulary, but it's true. If you look up in a dictionary, you will find that this obnoxious in Portuguese is obnoxio or obnoxia. You can say, but what is this, teacher? Because I don't know.
Yes.
You know, somebody that is not a very pleasant person is an unpleasant person, not nice, that you don't feel comfortable around him or her. Do you know this idea? Offensive. Okay, if you are sitting next to an obnoxious person on a bus or on a train, probably you change places because you don't feel comfortable near him or her, because this can be used for both. So obnoxious means an unpleasant person, an offensive person, okay? A person that you don't feel comfortable with, all right? That's the idea. Understand it or no?
Yes.
Yes, now it's clear.
Clear as the sky, because the sky here was very dark today.
It's
Okay.
clear.
That's good then. Now, Dirce, can you read the classical definition of the adverbs?
An adverb is a word that modifies, describes a verb. He signs
He
loudly.
thinks, he sings
He thinks
loudly.
loud. It's a exception of the rule.
No,
Signs, since.
no, I have I, vowel, consonant, consonant. Two consonants after. So to sing, sing a song. I like to sing, but I don't know.
Oh, I remember now about night, light.
Yes, but this is different. You are confusing. IGH. Yes, you are confusing. IGH. IGH is always I.
Oh, okay, okay.
ING.
I remember now. I remember.
Yes, okay.
Now I remember. Thanks.
No problem. He sings loudly.
He sings loudly and adjective very tall. Another adverb ended too quickly.
Ended too quickly.
Ended too quickly, or even a whole sentence. Fortunately, Fortunately, I had brought an umbrella. Adverbs often ending in ly, but some, such as fast, look exactly the same as their adjective counterparts.
Yes. Let's understand this paragraph because this is quite important, okay? So, an adverb is a word that modifies or describes a verb, period. This is the classical definition. This is what everybody usually has in mind, okay? For example, when I say he sings, if you ask the question, how, okay, you have the adverb here of manner describing the way that he sings. So he sings loudly, understand? The entire neighborhood can listen to him because he sings loudly. Well, But I can also use an adverb like very. Very is an adverb to modify an adjective like very tall. Very is an intensifier, but is classified as an adverb. Sometimes I use an adverb to modify another adverb. For example, the show ended too. It's an adverb. And quickly. I have two adverbs here. Okay? And sometimes I can modify an entire sentence by saying, fortunately, I had brought an umbrella. Okay? Because I changed the meaning of this sentence. I had brought an umbrella. I'm going to look at you and say, what for? But when I say, fortunately, I had brought an umbrella because it rained a lot. Okay? So that explains why I had an umbrella. So here, as you can see, we have 4 different uses for adverbs, not only, hello, Marcia, not only to modify a verb, right? Okay, guys?
Yes.
And also that concept, that idea that we have, because this is the problem when you memorize something and you generalize something. Words that end in "ly," they are always adverb. Not really. There are many adjectives that end in "ly," and there are many adverbs that don't end in "ly." So you see, you can never generalize something. Okay? All right? Understand what I'm saying? One example only, but it's one example. Fast can be an adjective, like she's a fast runner, or I can say she runs fast. In this case, it's an adverb without any alteration in form. I can use, for example, another example, which is similar, is like early. Early is an adjective, but it's also an adverb. Okay? I can say early birds pay only $5. This is something that probably I should teach you, because one day I lost a lot of money because of this. Okay? So early birds pay only $5. In this case, it's an adjective. But when I say, I usually get up early. In this case, early is an adverb without any alteration. And can you understand the sentence here?
No.
That's the one I told you that probably I should teach you. So one day, I remember that I was in New York City and I was looking for a place to park the car, okay? And I saw a huge sign in front of a parking, okay? Like parking, it was written exactly like this. Parking all day only US $5. When I saw the sign, I said, wow, that's a bargain. Because usually you pay $10, $15 an hour only to park the car in New York City. So when I saw this, I immediately entered the parking lot, got the ticket, and left. Well, when I returned it, I was going to pay, and I said, hi, I'd like to pay. And I already, of course, as a typical Brazilian, I have $5 in my hand, okay? But just in case, I gave the ticket and said, hi, I'd like to pay. And the guy told me, that's $78, sir. I said, what? $78. And I started hiding the $5, you know? Like, I'm sorry, but the sign said parking all day, $5. And then the guy told me, yes, sir. Early birds only. And it was actually written in a small letter, of course, like parking all day, $5 was in big, gigantic letters. And here was written in very small letters underneath, like this, or something maybe like this. Okay? It was written early birds only. And of course, I didn't even pay attention to that. And I said, I'm sorry, but what do you mean by these early birds only? Well, sir, that $5 applies only for cars that enter before 5 a.m. I said, so if I enter before 5 a.m., I pay $5 for the entire day. Yes, sir. I arrive at 9, I pay $78 for 4 hours. Yes, sir, that's right. And I was, fuck me. Okay, all right. I paid him, but I was very disappointed because it cost me like $73 more than I expected for 4 hours, all right? So this expression is very common. Early birds, that means for the people that arrive very early, not the birds, but people, understand? But they say only birds, all right?
All right.
So be careful when you see a big signing advertising parking for a very low price. Probably it's written somewhere there, early birds, okay? Well, however, remember when we use however to introduce a contrast, okay? However, there are many verbs that are not modified by an adverb. They are modified by an adjective, which was formed from a verb, but not adding "ly." Instead, we use the past participle of the verb or the ing of the verb. So this is the crucial moment of the class. Everybody knows, like Tainá used it a few minutes ago. Teacher, I'm tired. I helped my mother cooking. I'm tired. Okay, Tainá? You used this a few minutes ago. But you see, maybe, of course, this is instinctive. You said, I'm tired, right? But verb to be, this is a verb. So theoretically speaking, if adverbs are used to modify verbs, you should not say tired. You should use an adverb. That is exactly the point of today's class. There are many verbs, and there is a list below that we'll talk about them, that are not modified by an adverb. They are always modified by an adjective. But an adjective formed from a verb. You can say, what, teacher? You are confusing today. No, I'm not confusing. Have you ever seen the verb to tire?
No.
No. No. To tire, yes. There is a tire that we have in the car. Sometimes you are driving your car and boom, the tire explodes and you get what in English called a flat tire, okay?
Okay.
Flat tired. Then you need to change the tire. All right? In England, they spell it tired like this with the Y, but the pronunciation is the same. So anyway, to tire is a verb. It's a regular verb. The past tense of it is tired, and the past participle of it is tired. So if Tainá is tired, okay, it's a regular verb. So theoretically, the past participle is the adjective, but in this case, there is no difference, all right? So if Tainá is tired, it's because cooking, in her opinion, is tiring. You see? So I can generalize. This is something you can generalize. The past participle of a verb And the gerund of a verb can be used as an adjective. Can you understand the complexity and the ability to improve your vocabulary if you just memorize this or no? I can give you maybe 100, 200 examples. Let's think of another verb, for example, to embarrass. You know this verb, to embarrass? Understand this verb or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. What is the past tense of this verb?
Embarrassed.
Embarrassed. The past participle?
Embarrassed.
Thank you, Eric. Embarrassed. And what's the gerund?
Embarrassing.
You see, these, you can say it's a verb, yes, but I can use this form here and this form here as an adjective, okay? For example, this week I was going to give an online class to a woman, and when she clicked to connect, I, as I usually do, admitted her. Right? Can you understand this part?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So just like Marcia arrived, I got the message, I admitted. Okay? Very good. But what happened? The camera started showing, okay? Like I could see the woman, and the woman was putting on her clothes in front of the camera. It was, for me, a very embarrassing situation. You see, why? I didn't know what to do, understand? Like I was like, ah, la, 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 la. And the woman was just putting on her clothes right in front of the computer. And I was, la, 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 you know, trying to look, okay, counting how many lights in the okay. Okay, so if the situation was embarrassing for me, how was I feeling? I felt very embarrassed. You see, so if you observe here, we always get ed when something is ing or somebody. Understand? Like Taina was tired because in her opinion, cooking is tiring. You see, she thinks that cook is tiring. So imagine, guys, you can think of any verb you want in English. Regular only, teacher? No, regular, irregular. For example, the verb to break. What's the past tense of break?
Broke.
What's the past participle of break?
Broken.
What's the gerund of break?
Breaking.
breaking. Okay? So these two forms I can use perfectly as adjectives. Many times in my life, especially here in Europe, I was going to take the elevator and I would listen to somebody saying, I'm sorry, the elevator is broken. The elevator is broken. You see? Is broken. It's not a verb. In this case, it's an adjective. Okay?
Okay.
And breaking, yes, we can use it also as an adjective. All right? Don't go breaking my heart. Okay? Understand what I'm saying or no? Am I still confusing or it's clear? Or am I still confusing or it's clear?
It's clear. It's only
Maybe-
confused when we do the exercise.
Ah, it's gonna be a walk in the park. Okay. Oh. Marcia, can you read this next part for me, please?
Where?
In today's lesson,
In today's lesson, we are going to learn how to change verbs into adjectives and use them correctly so that you can expand
you can expand.
your vocabulary a lot.
Okay. Please continue a little bit more, a little bit more.
And it's not only adjective, but pairs of adjective that can end in either
Either is fine.
Either.
Either is fine.
ed or
ing.
ing. The most important is to understand when you use one or the other because the idea they express is quite different.
Okay. So I have some examples here. Like when, let's talk about that class. When the camera came on and whoops, what a surprise. Now, in that situation, was I embarrassed or embarrassing?
Embarrassed.
Embarrassed.
I was embarrassed, exactly. And the situation,
Embarrassing.
Embarrassing.
yes, okay. After the woman put on her clothes, she sat down, she put on her headphone, and then she told me, I'm sorry, teacher, I'm a little late, but I was just taking a shower. I had to control myself because I was going to say, yes, I could see that, understand? But I didn't say it because I was very embarrassed, understand? Okay?
Okay.
Understand?
Yes.
So, is he bored or is he boring? Or it can be both?
Bored.
I don't know. It depends. You can think that someone is bored. For example, Regina is here.
Yes, I'm late.
No problem. Better late than never. Okay? So anyway, Regina, let's suppose that you have a daughter, right?
As I have.
Yes, let's suppose that one day your daughter is sitting on the couch, on the sofa, and she doesn't look very good. Then you say, what's the matter, my dear? Why are you bored? Because her facial expression is that she's bored, understand? And then she says, I have 5 tests tomorrow. I don't want to study for that. It's terrible. Then she gives you the impression that she's bored. So I can say that somebody's bored. But I can also say that, oh my gosh, you're going out with Fulano? Yes. Why? Oh, he is so boring. Understand? That means not that he is bored. He is boring. Like after you talk to him, you want to kill yourself. Understand? Because the guy is boring. Understand the point? So we can always say that someone is ed or ing, but the meaning is different. Okay? All right?
Yes.
Oh, for example, one day I remember I was in Germany and a friend of mine invited me to go to the theater. And he said, hey, you want to go to the theater? I have tickets for tonight. He said play. I'm sure he said play. I said, oh, I'd love to. It's in German, but okay, I'd love to. When I got to the theater, it was no, a ballet. Maybe it would be okay, but it was not a play. It was an opera
Oh.
in German. Dio mio, I never suffered so much in my life, understand? Because I could not even understand the name of the tenor or the name of the people participating. Imagine this story. For me, that was extremely boring. Understand the idea?
Yes.
So at the end of the opera, he asked me, so how was it? It was okay. Yeah, interesting. Different, quite different. But actually, how do you think I was feeling?
Bird.
Bored.
Exactly. I think you got the idea. I was feeling bored because the opera in German was very boring. Okay?
Yes.
2
Now,
hours.
2 hours and a half.
Ah,
Whoa.
Imagine 2 hours and a half. Not even a beer or a wine to drink. Only listening in German. Okay. So anyway, when you say, am I embarrassed? You are trying to ask the other people if in their opinion, you are feeling embarrassed due to a certain situation that you are either looking at or experiencing. Okay, like I told my wife about my student, understand? And my wife, she knows me. And she said, weren't you embarrassed? I said, yes, I was totally embarrassed because I didn't know what to do, understand? I wanted to get out of here to stay away from the computer until she finished putting on her clothes, understand? Because I was extremely embarrassed. Did you observe my sentence or no? Oh, I was extremely embarrassed. Extremely is an adjective or an adverb?
Adverb?
Adverb.
It's an adverb and is modifying an adjective formed from a verb. You see? I was very embarrassed. I was extremely embarrassed. Okay? So as you can see, you have two adverbs here. I mean, one adverb modifying an adjective. Okay? And this adjective, it was formed from a verb, to embarrass. Okay? So let's continue. Oh, when you say, am I embarrassing? We're trying to ask other people if something you are doing is getting them embarrassed or ashamed of your attitude. Okay? So some people, when they get drunk, understand to get drunk?
Yes.
Yes.
They become very embarrassing. because they do a lot of embarrassing things. And as a consequence of their behavior, you are going to get embarrassed. But they are embarrassing, understand? And the same case applies to bored. It's just the explanation here. When you ask, is he bored? Like I asked Regina, is your daughter bored? What I'm trying to discover if, in Regina's opinion, her daughter is bored, is dull, is tedious, is tiresome, is monotonous. All these words, they mean the same. Dull, tedious, tiresome, monotonous, for some reason. Okay?
Okay.
But if I ask, is Paul boring? I'm going out with him tonight. Well, what I'm trying to discover if, in your opinion, he's not interesting or even exciting to talk to or to be with, then the guy is boring, like the opera was boring, okay? Now, all these adjectives, they were forming by adding the ed to a verb in their base form, or as we usually say, you use the past participle of these verbs. I did not include the irregular verbs, but yes, some irregular verbs, you can do the same. You can use the past participle as an adjective, or the ing to a verb in the base form, or as we usually say, the gerund of it, all right? So how to use each one of them? Gislaine, can you read this part for me, please?
Yes, teacher. The adjectives
The
that
adjectives
adjectives that end in ed are used to describe an emotion or feeling that someone or an animal has. It's usually a temporary situation or feeling that people or sometimes animals have. But you can't use plus ed adjectives to describe a thing or a place because they don't have feelings.
Yes. So I can use this kind of construction to refer to people or sometimes animals. But I cannot say that the house is boring. The house is bored. Why? Because the house doesn't have a feeling. Only people or animals. Sometimes I remember that I used to go out for a long walk with my dog. At the first kilometer, second kilometer, she was always happy. But after that, she would get tired. She would start. So I needed to return home because she was tired. Understand? Because the walking was tiring for her. Okay?
Okay.
Tainá, can you read the other part? The adjectives that end in ing.
The adjectives that end in ing are used to describe the
Describe the
the characteristics of a person, a thing, or a place, and they are usually permanent. It is possible to change as long as the person, thing, or place describe it, change their
attitude.
attitude or way of doing things or whatever.
Whatever. Okay.
Whatever.
Let's understand this. Oh, Tainá said about 10 minutes ago that she was tired. So she was using the ed, right? I'm tired, teacher. Why? Because I was helping my mother. And as a consequence, she got tired. Oh, mosquito, I got you. Okay. The ed situations, they are usually used to describe a temporary situation. So it's not because Tainá was tired or is tired now that she's going to be tired tomorrow morning or Saturday night. I'm sure that Saturday night she's not going to be tired. You understand? Right, Tainá?
No.
Yes. So this is a temporary thing. But the ing on the other hand, they are usually used to describe characteristic of a person, a thing, or even a place, but that are usually permanent. So is it possible to change? Of course it is possible to change, but it depends on the person, depends on the thing, it depends on the place. Okay? For example, if you say, going to, what is the name of that? What's the name of that kind of exercise that your sister does, Taina? I forgot.
What?
What is the name of that exercise? It's not aerobics.
CrossFit.
Okay, thank you. Going to a CrossFit lesson is very tiring. You see, is this one day or is a permanent thing?
Permanent.
Exactly. It's always going to be tiring. When you finish, you are exhausted. You are extremely tired. Understand? But if you say, Joãozinho is very boring, maybe in a few years he's going to be exciting, not boring anymore. So a person can change his characteristic, but it depends on him. Okay? Now, in my opinion, an opera in German is always going to be boring. Okay? That is my opinion. Maybe if you ask a German, he says, very exciting, okay? But in my opinion, very boring. So, just to finalize this part, if you say that something or someone is boring, he or she or it is going to make you feel bored. That's it. If you say that someone or something is exciting, he or she is going to make you feel excited. In other words, you feel ed when someone or something is ing. This is what you need to memorize. And it's not only you feel. Here you have a list of all the verbs that can be used with this kind of adjectives. Appear, she appears to be tired, okay? Be, like when Taina said, I am tired. Become, like I'm becoming tired of these, okay? Feel, get, go, grow, look, prove, remain, seem, smell, sound, stay, taste, and run. Do you understand all these verbs, or is there any verb that you're not familiar with? Hello?
Okay, Jamil.
Okay, okay.
Okay, Gislaine, okay, Tainá, okay, Márcia, okay, Cristina.
Yes, okay.
Okay.
You girls are very intelligent, okay? I think I can retire. Yes, I don't need to work anymore, okay? You have already learned everything. So just to make you happy, I included a short list of the most common verbs that are changed into adjectives with the ed or the ing. These are the most common, but not all. This is just to make you happy, understand? One night of study and you are going to be happy. So we have here, to alarm, to aggravate, to amuse, to annoy, to astonish, to bore. See, nobody knows this verb to bore, but everybody knows bored. Understand?
Yes.
Everybody knows, this is boring, teacher. But the verb is to bore. Okay? I have to captivate, to challenge, to charm, to comfort, to confuse. You know, like, oh, teacher, I'm confused. You are confused because this topic is confusing. I'm disappointed. Depressed. I'm depressed. Okay? Discouraged, disgust, disturb, embarrassed, encourage, excite, exhaust, fascinate, frighten, frustrate. I'm sure you understand all of them, right? No questions. To inspire, to insult, to perplex, to please, to relax, to relieve, to satisfy, to shock, to surprise, to tempt, to terrify, to threaten, thrill, tire, touch, trouble, and worry. That's it. Only this list.
Easy.
I told you, walk in the park. But of course, I'm sorry, dears.
It's easy. Just I need to put in my head.
Me too.
You know, what I would suggest is learn the verbs. The rest is a consequence. Understand? If you remember the verb, and all of them are regular verbs in this case, you know that the past tense is formed by adding D. And the gerund is formed by adding ing. Understand? So, this is terrifying. If this is terrifying, I am terrified. Okay? Tired, tiring. I was so
Teacher,
touched. Yes.
what does to thrill mean?
To thrill is the same of something exciting. You know?
Okay.
Have
Thank
you
you.
ever been on a roller coaster?
Roller coaster.
Yeah, is that thing that you go in an amusement park. You go up, 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 up in a
Oh,
little
yes.
part, and then you go, wow! That is something very thrilling, you know? It pumps up your adrenaline, okay? So you can say,
Okay.
I was thrilled after the ride, okay? I was, whew, in my case, I almost have a heart attack after riding, okay?
Me
But
too.
You afraid, teacher? Are you
no,
afraid?
I'm not afraid. The problem is that I think I'm old, okay? And if you pay
No.
attention,
I
no,
have panic.
no, there are many
me too.
signs. If you have a heart condition, if you are blah, 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 if you are blah, a lot of problems there. Don't go in this ride. But the problem is, I had two sons.
Yes.
And they would always, oh, Daddy, you gotta go with me. You gotta go with me. I would start praying, oh my God, please. Yes. I have honestly been to all the biggest roller coasters that exist with my children. But alone, never. Alone, I would rather go to the carousel. Understand? That was more my style. But my kids wanted to go to the roller coaster. And there is a park in the United States. I don't know if you have ever heard. It's called Six Flags.
Oh, yes.
It's only roller coasters, my gosh. Only roller coasters. The worst you can imagine. If you Google it, Six Flags, you don't believe. You have roller coasters where you stand up and your legs go like these. Blah, 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 blah.
Oh,
You have roller coasters with like out loopings 3 times in a row, like woo, woo,
Oh my
woo.
oh,
So that is very thrilling, okay?
Okay.
But it's not that I was terrified. I was just kind of shocked, okay? And worried about my heart. I always thought I'm gonna have a heart attack one day, okay? Any question about any of the verbs that I listed here? Is there any verb that you have never seen before?
no.
You can ask me now or never. Now or never.
Tomorrow.
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 Okay, maybe I'll change. It's now or tomorrow. Okay? All right. Just remember this. You will always feel, get, be, become, ed when the other people or something else is ing. If you remember this, just think of a verb and use the verb to improve your vocabulary. Is that clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Very good. Tomorrow we'll come back to this because, of course, you have the homework here. Okay,
Ooh.
if you want to try. And then we also have a listening passage to talk about. All right. I see you guys tomorrow. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you very much for watching my class, and I'll see you tomorrow. All right.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Bye bye.
Bye.